is a special edition of ABC 30 Action News.
Investigation questions. A former independent police auditor is raising questions about the city investigation into Paco Balderrama, just one day after he resigned as chief of the Fresno Police Department. And thanks for joining us this evening for this special edition of Action News. And good evening, I'm Warren Armstrong.
And I'm Margot Kim. Tonight, city officials are under renewed scrutiny for their handling of the investigation into Paco Balderrama. A former police auditor and retired Superior Court judge is questioning the independence of the agency hired by the city. Action News reporter Gabe Ferris brings us her concerns and what she says should have happened.
Was who conducted the investigation. It's important for the public to know this, as well as people in law enforcement in Fresno.
New questions on Wednesday, one day after city officials announced Paco Balderrama is resigning as chief of the Fresno Police Department. Balderrama's departure comes on the heels of an investigation that probed the chief's relationship with the wife of an officer. City Manager Georgeanne White announced the results on Tuesday.
One of the allegations that was referenced in the Sun article was that Chief Balderrama leveraged his position to undermine the officer's career moves that would have brought an end to the affair. While I cannot get into the specifics of the investigation, I am able to state that this allegation was not sustained.
City Attorney Andrew Jan says a private firm led the investigation.
We outsourced the investigation to an outside entity, an outside attorney, to avoid any appearance of bias or impropriety. And so the person that we brought on was an attorney at Atkinson Andelson. His name is Andrew Aller.
Aller is a former Fresno County prosecutor, and his ties to City Hall are now under the microscope by LaDoris Cordell. She's a retired Superior Court judge and the former independent police auditor for the city of San Jose.
Is that the person who did it was a member of law enforcement in Fresno, was a person who has at least an acquaintance, is an acquaintance of, or has a relationship with the mayor who was a former chief. So I question the independent part of this report.
Cordell is also shining a light on how the investigation would have played out behind closed doors. She says the investigating attorney likely interviewed Balderrama and potential witnesses. And while that process didn't find any abuse of power, Cordell says Balderrama's behavior is concerning. She's calling on city leaders to release the full findings.
We don't get to know about it. We don't get to know the outcome other than their conclusion. Well, it wasn't an abuse of power. That's insufficient. I think the public has a right to know more.
With some limited exceptions, Judge Cordell tells me that the state's Peace Officer Bill of Rights prevents officials from releasing most information related to officer misconduct and discipline. That means the full details might never come out. Gabe Ferris, ABC 30, Action News.
Stay with Action News for continuing coverage on Balderrama's resignation and the next steps for the city. You can catch the latest details on abc30.com and the ABC 30 Central California app.